I am Madiha Zafar from NUST Business School, Pakistan. My research paper topic is uncovering diversification benefits, return spillover in USA, ESG and non-ESG bank. This is the outline of my presentation. I will start with introduction, then I will discuss the literature view. After that, I will explain the research gaps. Then I will discuss the objective and hypothesis of this study. Then I will discuss the theoretical framework, then I will explain the empirical methodology. After that I will discuss the results and I am going to discuss the introduction. As we all know, bank mismanagement leads to disruption in the financial system and creates financial distress that has a spillover effect on the economy. Financial products are interconnected through the balance sheet and affect the overall economic system. Spillover in global financial network increase due to connectedness, technology innovation, and management change. Investors are interested in connectedness of sustainable markets because the sustainable investment strategy have grown by more than 100% per annum. Bank adoption of ESG standard leads to investing in very few projects, and such kind of investment leads to ESG constraints in portfolio. ESG investment restrict and constrain the diversification of portfolio, which increases risk and contagion. Now come to the literature view. Previous studies agreed upon that connectedness increase volatility spillover. A single bank default impacts other financial institutions during interconnectedness, leading to economic recession. Researchers have investigated the association of ESG with Islamic equities, conventional bonds, conventional equities, and green bonds. On the basis of the previous literature review, we find out that the previous study mostly focused on the interconnectedness between sustainability and other investments. There has been less focus on examining the association between ESG-oriented and non-ESG-oriented banks. Our study filled this gap by selecting ESG and non-ESG-oriented banks and estimating their spillover return to determine the financial contagion between them. This paper is based on three research objectives. The first one is to examine the return spillover between ESG-oriented Bank of the USA. The second one is to examine the return spillover between non-ESG-oriented Bank of the USA. And the third one is to examine the return spillover between ESG-oriented and non-ESG-oriented Bank of the USA. This study has three hypotheses. The first one is that there is a significant return spillover effect between ESG-oriented bank in the USA. The second one is that there is a significant return spillover effect between non-ESG-oriented banks in the USA. And third is that there is a significant return spillover effect between ESG-oriented banks and non-ESG-oriented bank in the USA. Now come towards the theoretical framework. Modern portfolio theory indicates that portfolio risk can be mitigated by diversification. Sustainability measures are incorporated into the portfolio by the exclusion of non-ESG-oriented non-responsible firms, which limited the diversification. This also highlights that financial constraint due to the overinvestment in a particular asset. This overinvestment threshold contributes to a rise in return spillover. Therefore, diversification is required to reduce volatility. Now I am going to discuss the results of this paper. This is a table of descriptive stats. This table shows that data was consisted on 2319 observation from January 1, 2015 to November 22, 2013. Descriptive stat provided the return of stock markets of 8 ESG and non-ESG rented banks. This table shows that UWHR have highest mean returns during sample. Now I am going to discuss the return spillover of ESG. This table shows the return spillover index of ESG rented bank in the USA. This table indicates that the average return spillover between the top 4 ESG rented bank of the USA is 68.6% during the sample period. The on-market highest return spillover was contributed by WFC, which is 33.10% with 66.89% contribution from others to its return. This table shows that Bank of America received the highest spillover, which is 69.68% from others, and transmitted the highest spillover, that is 72.52% to others. On the other side, the WFC received the lowest spillover from others, which is 66.89, and transmitted the lowest spillover, which is 62.33 to others. Rolling window analysis in figure indicate a sharp increase in spillover among ESG-oriented banks during COVID-19. In the first quarter of 2020, the peak is greater than the peak of the ESG-oriented banks. This peak indicates that ESG banks are highly interconnected to each other. Any positive or negative event in a bank have a high spillover towards other bank. A decrease in spillover observed from the second quarter of 2020 due to the stabilization of the global economy from the COVID-19. Now I am going to discuss the combined return spillover of ESG and non-ESG oriented banks. This table shows that spillover between ESG and non-ESG oriented bank is lower than the total spillover of ESG oriented bank, but it is higher than the non-ESG oriented bank. The Bank of America received the highest return spillover, that is 80.98% to others, and UBCP receives a lower spillover from others and transmitted a 1.79% spillover to others. This table shows the less connectedness of non-ESG oriented banks towards ESG oriented banks. The minimum effect of non-ESG oriented banks toward ESG oriented banks provide the portfolio diversification abilities for ESG oriented banks. Now I am going to discuss the conclusion of this study. The analysis reveals significant difference between ESG-oriented and non-ESG-oriented banks regarding their interconnectedness and spillover, and specifically during the COVID-19 period. ESG-oriented banks shows higher level of interconnectedness and suggesting a need for cross-market diversification to optimize portfolio performance. On the other side, non-ESG-oriented banks demonstrate less connectivity and have an effect towards ESG-oriented bank and providing diversification opportunities for ESG-focused portfolio. These are the references of my study. This is all about from my side, and thanks to all of you.